Hi, I'm Rajan Joshi, the Fit Lawyer. Today, I want to share with you an experience I had which turned out to be the greatest experience probably in my entire life, that started out with a confrontation. And this, of course, happened at the gym. I was working out and I saw this machine I wanted to work out on, but this guy was on it and he was training on that machine, and then he'd go and superset with another machine and he'd go back and forth. So I walked up to him, really nicely asked, "Hey, do you mind if I work in with you on the machine?" He said, "No, I'm almost done, just hold up and then you can have the machine." So I was like, cool. And I started, training on something else. And he just kept going back and forth, back and forth. So I was like, okay, maybe this guy's not almost done. So I walked up to him again and I said, "Hey, do you mind if I work in with you?" He's like, "I'll be done in just a little bit. It's all yours." I said, "Cool." So he kept going back and forth. So now I'm getting restless. I'm like, this guy's hogging up the machine. He doesn't own the gym. So I walk up to him. I was like, "Look, sir, while you're on that side running to that machine, can I work in over here?" All of a sudden, he blew up at me. He's like, "F you, you're an asshole, this and that." And immediately my reaction was, "No, F you." And we got into each other's face and he's like, "You can have the machine." Walked away and I was kind of happy. I had the machine. I was like, that guy's just a jerk. And I started working out on the machine. The guy comes back to me, gets into my face, telling me how I ruined his workout. And I stop what I'm doing and I get back in his face and I'm angry. And I was like, "You don't own the gym." And we had words. He walked away, then I walked away, and I was steaming. I was so pissed. I started doing cardio, and I started thinking, this guy's such a jerk. And, all these thoughts were coming in my head, and then all of a sudden I stopped, and I paused, and I said, "You know what, Rajan? You're the jerk." That guy was working out. He was minding his business. I walked up to him. He set his boundaries with me, and I pushed it. And I'm the one who caused the reaction. And as I was doing cardio, I started feeling that feeling inside me that, I have to make amends. I have to say sorry. I saw the guy walking and I got off the machine and I walked up to him, and I didn't know what his response was going to be, what his reaction was going to be, but I had to say sorry. And I said, "Look, man, I am so sorry. I should have just respected your boundaries that you set." And he stopped me right there. He's like, "No, man, I'm sorry. I should never have talked to you like that." It's like, "No, I'm sorry." He's like, "No, I'm sorry." We embraced. And, I can tell you that was one of the greatest feelings of my entire life. Nothing could match how I felt inside, letting go of that resentment, making amends, and, doing my part to making sure I clear up, any conflict within myself. It was there's no professional achievement I've ever had, no parting that could match this feeling. And, that's one thing I've learned, as I go on my journey in life, is how great humility is, how great it is to look at myself, to make sure I'm doing the right thing, instead of living in my ego. Because if I would have held on to that, I would have been pissed off all weekend, replaying it, and every time thinking about how much of a jerk that guy was. But the whole weekend I felt so good about myself, and that's one thing that I've learned is through doing the right things and trying to let go of my ego builds up my self-confidence. And I feel good. I was calling up people, saying, "Hey, you won't believe what just happened. I had such an experience. I had such a breakthrough." And every time I see that guy, we walk up to each other and it's just like, I feel something. I feel this, spiritual connection, because we brought out the worst in each other, but we brought out the best. And, that's one thing I try to do now, is try and live every day being my best that I can, inside and outside. And it's made volumes and volumes of a difference in my life. And I like to share it with people. And I feel grateful that I have experiences, and through these obstacles, I learn and I grow. And that's what the beauty of life is. Thank you.